Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Brother, this guy stinks!
It's his starring role in Benny Safdie's The Smashing Machine. He cooked. Smells like baby oil and sweat, but not in a way that'll have anyone end up in court. My name's Jacob, I write books, and I love talking about stories in all forms. Today we're talking about The Smashing Machine, if it wasn't obvious. Benny Safdie directed and wrote The Smashing Machine, starring Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. You know, one of the Safdie brothers, the duo who injected anxiety straight into your bloodstream with their hit Uncut Gems starring Adam Sandler. Let me start out by saying this is undoubtedly Johnson's, The Rock's, best performance. He knocks it out of the park. Hell, maybe he even knocks out his opponent, if you know what I mean.
You need to leave!
Ugh. Never mind. He's fantastic as Mark Kerr. And Emily Blunt, she's phenomenal. She's entered that rare actor and actress tier where she's so good at playing Americans and so good at American accents that you forget that she actually isn't American. Breaking into the synopsis of The Smashing Machine, the film follows MMA fighter Mark Kerr as he rises through the early UFC and Pride circuits, while battling relationship issues and a serious opiate addiction. Safdie's style makes you feel like you're inside the story. There were many times during this film where I felt like I was watching a home movie. It's intimate, it's raw, and it's deeply personal. It's exactly what Benny Safdie does best. I have to give props to all of the actors, but especially Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. They are firing on all cylinders, and they have an undeniable chemistry. And a huge shout out to the makeup team. Somehow attached a prosthetic brow to Johnson that made it through gallons and gallons of sweat. Kudos to the behind the scenes crew. Going back to the performances, Johnson's never been so vulnerable on screen. Normally, he's this very charismatic, badass type character. This feels like a total deconstruction of that. Casting The Rock as Kerr, given his own wrestling past and public persona, makes this role hit even harder. It really feels like this project was very personal to Johnson. Blunt nails that late 90s American energy so well that you're convinced by the time you leave the theater that she is from Phoenix, Arizona. Alright folks, I'm going to dive into some mild spoilers, so skip ahead to this time if you want to avoid any spoilers and my overall rating of The Smashing Machine. Alright. Now let's break down the plot and mild spoilers for The Smashing Machine. The film opens with Kerr answering a reporter's questions as we see a highlight reel of his wins. He's a beast in the ring, absolutely demolishes opponents in mere seconds. He's hungry for greatness. He literally says there's no better feeling than winning in this opening monologue. As we continue following Kerr in his fighting career, the audience is made aware that he has a crippling opiate addiction. Not just something that he does to avoid the pain, but something that he does before a match. Something that he does so much that he's in a zombified state as he's eating his breakfast. And Johnson's performance here is stunning. Without saying a word, we know what's going on. This is where we see a lot of the stark differences between Johnson's previous roles and this one. He is being so vulnerable and raw on camera, maybe for the first time ever. His girlfriend Dawn, Emily Blunt, is understandably fed up by this point in the film, but she doesn't handle it great, causing Kerr to spiral even deeper, eventually overdosing on the opiate medication. Kerr spirals, hits rock bottom, and finally, through the assistance of one of his other MMA friends, seeks help and goes to rehab. He skips a fight, which is a big deal not just to him, but to the organization, so much so that he has to publicly apologize, but ultimately he gets clean. As Kerr goes back to entering his home life, not only does he struggle to keep sober, but Dawn struggles with this new life. She used to have to take care of him, and she really misses that aspect of their relationship. It's messy, it's human, it's raw, it's undeniable as you watch it. The last act follows Kerr fighting both sobriety and passion for fighting. He gets back into the best shape of his life. He enters a tournament with a $200,000 cash prize, and that's a lot of money now in 2025. That was a lot more money back in the year 2000. And you're left guessing this entire third act because you know Kerr is going to fight, meaning he's going to get hurt again. Will he use the opiates again? Will he not? But Benny Safdie leaves you guessing the entire time. And I'm not about to spoil that part. And I said only mild spoilers. You'll have to watch to find that out. We're not talking about spoilers anymore. Come back to this spot. Unfortunately, the movie bombed at the box office this weekend, which sucks because it deserved way better, even just for the performances alone. I think a lot of people compared the trailers of this movie to something like The Iron Claw, which had an infamous reputation of leaving the audience tear-drenched, heartbroken, and overall devastated. This movie, in some ways, shares some premises, but its goal isn't to be The Iron Claw. It isn't trying to give you trauma. The Smashing Machine is about passion for fighting, the endurance that these athletes have to go through, the endurance that life takes, and the real cost of greatness. It's a love letter to the sport. It's a love letter to Mike Kerr, and honestly, it's pretty good. I'm giving The Smashing Machine an 8 out of 10. Go see The Smashing Machine even if you're remotely interested in sport biopics, dramas, or just watching a stellar performance from Dwayne Johnson. Let me know your thoughts below, or if you think I'm full of shit, you can tell me that too. All right, bye.